Well, good morning, everyone. I hate to interrupt email, and I know you all will be doing email as we go throughout this sessions, because we got the next 75 minutes with you. We're glad you made the trek all the way down here to W300 at the far end of the building, but very happy to have you with us today. My name is Winston Haight. I'm the Senior Product Marketing Manager for the Technical Product and Experience Marketing team for Dynamics 365. I'm joined by Muguntham. I'll have you introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name is Muguntham Mani. I'm a PM in the retail team, working on the extensibility and managing various areas across the retail.
Yeah. And it's great we have him here today. He's got some great demos that we're going to walk you through. Not only hit you with a few PowerPoints, but I'm always a big believer in let's show you, let's make it real for what we're actually doing. And as you start to understand the shift that we're going from overlayering to extensions and what that means, I think you're going to start to understand what the impact that's going to mean for predictability, lowering maintenance costs, getting to near zero downtime for things that's really going to help with your operational excellence of the product itself, but also being able to help kind of run through and make things a little clearer of what our vision is for how we're moving forward. Just a quick check. How many people are already Dynamics 365 AX customers? Oh, my branding will kill me. Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations Enterprise Edition. Okay? Old AX customers. All right. And people who are thinking about getting Dynamics 365 for retail. Great. Great mix that we've got throughout the room. So I just kind of want to go through some of the slides. If you all saw James Phillips' keynote yesterday, you would have seen some of this. But I think it's great to kind of help bring together kind of how we're looking at the all-up picture for Microsoft and in Dynamics, how we look at it, and then how we get to Dynamics 365 for retail. So we've always talked about enabling this world for those who've been with AX, and there's a few in the room. And I'm going to keep using AX because if I say Dynamics 365 for Finance and Operations, we'll be here an extra 10 minutes throughout the show. But I think we're really talking about how we enable what you want to do, how you want to do it, and being able to take these composable workloads and break them out and be able to break down to exactly what you need, only using those components that you really need. So you've seen us talking about from the customer engagement side, we've got customer service, field service, sales, project service automation. Finance and operations is what everyone's known. That's what we rebranded back in, I guess it was last fall, we started talking about finance and operations. And now we're starting to look at retail and talent, taking those pieces that you need, that you want, without having to worry about rip and replacing entire systems. But what are those composable workloads you can deploy and use wherever and however you need it to be able to support your operations? And not only do you have those different workloads, but then you can surround it with the business processes as you start to move to CDS and being able to take that flow of information across the different applications. We also take the data across those different applications. The data and having a common data source or those common data entities then means the insights become more powerful. You don't have to worry about if it's name F versus name first. You have a common and consistent way of taxonomy that then helps make the insights a lot better and brings it more to life for you. So why are we doing this? What's kind of driven us? And we're kind of going through what a lot of companies are as well. We've had these big monolithic suites of CRM and AX, and taking your customer relationship management and your enterprise resource planning and trying to unify it, bring it together so they talk to each other. So you can get slipstream in terms of how the business processes are going and the data itself and how it's going to react. But getting these business applications in a modular way to be able to do what you need and how you do it. Disconnected data silos. I'm sure all of you in here are probably just now getting some of your reports for August, even though we're halfway through September. Isn't it going to be wonderful to be able to sit there and be able to say, I want to know what happened last week, and you can find out Monday morning, instead of having to wait. You don't have to take different systems, compile the data, cross-reference it, rationalize it against different data sources because you have 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 different applications you're running. You can unify it all together in one place. And then the custom logic and extensibility. As Muguntham talked about, extensibility is a big shift that we started with Dynamics 365. We started it last fall with the fall release in 2016. We've continued forward with the July release, and we'll actually fully seal the application. And I apologize. For retail, it already is fully sealed. For Dynamics 365 for finance and operations, we're going to fully seal that by the spring as well. So a unique piece that we have with retail is it's starting out fully sealed. So it's giving you the advantage of not having to worry about having overlayering in the past, which some of our partners are working towards, and being able to bring that into the extensions. It's starting out with a pure extension model. So why did we do this? Well, I think for all of you in the room know that for retailers, the pressure is really on in terms of what your competitors are doing and what customers are demanding. Customers want a unified experience. If I go online and I look at something online, I have maybe a preferences or a wish list or something like that. I want to be able to see that on my phone, on my tablet. I even want to see it when I go in the store. If I have an associate that walks up to me with a tablet or a mobile device and starts talking to me and gets my information, I want them to be able to pull that up on the screen, be able to remind me, what was that was on my wish list? Can you give me some ideas of some recommendations, some other things that people may have gotten in addition to what I'm looking for in my cart to be able to kind of help build out and maybe give me a better experience, create a bigger cart, be able to move more product through your store. Personalization, I think it's becoming a de facto standard. If you can't personalize the offers, people don't care. They're going to go to the people that are personalized, and the people that seem to want that personal touch point. They know me. They know what I want. They know what I want, what I'm interested in, and be able to then deliver that to them 24/7. And I think the other thing, too, that we're running into is customers are more informed than ever. In some cases, they may even already know what they want. They're just out shopping for the best price or the best experience. And as we'll see in just a moment, price isn't necessarily the thing that everyone is going for now. It's the experience. So as we start to see, we have billions of users online, billions of touch points, people that are able to reach out and go to these systems, to their networks and say, hey, tell me about this product. I want to buy a new jacket or a new dress, or I got different types of equipment I want for whether I'm outdoors or sports. What do you all think? I trust my network. I trust what they do. And through all the devices and everything they have, they're already so far down the buying process that you want to be able to then support what their wants and needs are, but be able to deliver on it as well. And I think it's this bottom one that 86% of customers will pay more for a better customer experience. And as the box on the right said, it's not just about price anymore. If I can have an experience where I get an email offer, it's got a special code that I go online, it immediately appears in my cart. I don't have to go get a code and copy and paste it in and do all that back and forth and logging back and forth. I just want it to be there. That full, rich experience of that customer touch and that customer life cycle is what you want to be able to expand as much as you possibly can. And it becomes a differentiator as well. So you need to adapt rapidly. Demographics are changing daily, it seems. Global scale, people are looking more and more places for what they want. As we talked about, customers are more informed. The blend of physical and digital. I don't know if you're aware, but Amazon just made a little purchase at Whole Foods, which surprised everyone because they suddenly bought a whole bunch of brick and mortar stores. And I'm from Seattle. Amazon just opened a bookstore, a physical bookstore in Seattle, which has a lot of people scratching their heads. But what they realize is it's that physical touch point. I want to be able to come in and touch it. I want to see what that product feels like, looks like, smells like, whatever that is. And they're also starting to understand these distribution channels now. You want to buy online and pick up in a store. Well, do you want to pick up groceries? There's Whole Foods. But we also can use Whole Foods as a whole distribution system as well, a secondary network that they can use to move product and services around. Lifetime customer engagement. This is, I think, one of the big pieces that that companies are starting to look at. What's the cost to me to maintain a customer for life? And what can I do to maintain their interest in being with me throughout their buying cycle and be able to stay with me as long as possible? And then this shift direct to customer, like we talked about, going from where manufacturers more and more want to go and bypass traditional outlets, kind of like what Amazon's doing of going with Whole Foods, but being able to get those direct touch points. They want to do their own pop-up stores. They want to do their own experiences. And they're starting to bypass some of those traditional channels that they're going through. How do you support that? How can you make that the best possible experience for yourself as the manufacturer? And the problem you've always had with retail, and it's something I think everyone in the room has experienced, it takes a while. It's not something that can be deployed easily. You have to go through a lot of work. There's a lot of cycles. We have to go through and identify what we want. We have to do development work. We work with the analysts. They're coming back and coding. Then we're doing testing and everything else. How do we help speed that process up? The problem you've always had is some of these cases, some of these systems, like if you're going to go through and replace an SAP and switch from SAP, you've got to rip and replace the entire system. Extremely disruptive, very expensive. CFOs start getting nervous. CEOs worry about whether it's going to actually realize what it wants. You've seen in the papers, and the Wall Street Journal reported that Avon actually a couple years ago, they had such a bad experience with the new system they deployed that people actually left the company because it was so bad. So you don't want that type of press. That's what the CEOs worry about. Incompatible with existing systems. Yeah, I want this new stuff. I want this new experience. Give me a modern POS. Give me this great experience for customers. But I want it to integrate with what I already have. Don't make me rip and replace. Hard to customize. It's expensive. Oh, I'd like to move some different fields around, or I want to service some different things. Well, that's going to cost you 50 grand. It's going to take 3 to 6 months. We really can't be sure about that. We've got to go through testing, analysis, and everything else. We want to be able to help you figure out ways that you can be repeatable and predictable in what you're doing to be able to help drive those user experiences that you want customers to have. And then lean, aggressive, agile. You want to be able to lead the pack. You want to be able to leapfrog your competitors. You want to stay ahead of them, understand what those business processes that you have, figure out what we need to do to change that. How can we make it better? What's the feedback we're getting? What's the social sentiment we're seeing online? What's going on that we need to change to stay competitive? So we did all that with Dynamics 365 for retail. And I've got a quick video here that I'm going to go ahead and start.
Today's connected customers interact with brands across a wide variety of touchpoints throughout their shopping journey. Consumers use social media to read reviews, their smartphones to do research on the go, and more than ever, they expect all of this information to be personalized and readily available through a seamless experience. Microsoft Dynamics 365 for Retail give retailers the tools they need to better manage their changing demands and deliver amazing experiences to their customers. Our merchandising management solution helps retailers make sure that the right products are available at the right stores at the right time. We are connecting the shopping experience with tools that deliver greater continuity as consumers move between devices, shopping online or in store, including support for cross-channel scenarios like buying online and in-store pickup. We are giving retail employees greater access to product and customer information through mobile sales tools that empower them to step onto the sales floor to help customers and to deliver even better service. And through the power of the cloud, Dynamics 365 makes machine learning and advanced analytics easy and accessible. With our Cortana Intelligence Suite and Microsoft Power BI, we are helping retailers make smarter decisions and deliver better and more personalized experiences. We are living in an amazing time when change is happening with remarkable speed. At Microsoft, we are excited to empower retailers with tools they need to improve the speed of doing business so they can deliver even more amazing experiences for their customers.
So I think that kind of helps highlight how for us, you hear the word experience, and it's something that I've been amazed at how much customers come to us and say, we want a better experience, not for our own internal customers, our users, our developers, our in-house people, but the end user as well, our customers' customers. And how do we maximize that as much as we can? And one of the ways we do that is by unifying this, not just with Dynamics 365 for retail, but Dynamics 365, and then being able to relate that all the way up to Microsoft 365. So not only do we bring the Dynamics 365 suite to bear with the retail and being able to then extend beyond retail and go into manufacturing, warehousing, retailing as you need it, how you need it, wherever you need it, but then being able to hook in with Office 365, help to improve the productivity of your workers and your people. Power Apps Flow and the Common Data Service. How can we sit there and enable citizen developers? You don't need to make it complex to change fields, make different views, be able to make a mobile experience for maybe your workers to be able to surface Power BI graphs or views, being able to see the data in the way they want to. Share that out with others in the organization to say, hey, check this out. This might be something you like and makes it easier for you to understand what you're doing in the field. The Cortana Intelligence Suite and Power BI, analytics, it's all about the data. What is it showing you? How can you see it? Getting that near real-time view of, hey, I know what happened yesterday, and I can see what happened in the store. I can see what's trending. I can see what I need to order. My back-end systems are being able to help trigger that and make it easier for us to do it. And then AppSource, our third-party Microsoft marketplace where our partners can create their solutions, surface it to customers, and make it easy for them to find it, to then be able to take their expertise, the partner's expertise, and bring it to bear on your customer's experience. Yes. Yes. That is an excellent question, and I actually have a slide that specifically addresses that. So for the people who are listening to us streaming, the question is what's the difference between Dynamics 365 for retail and Dynamics 365 for finance and operations? And it's a question we get asked all the time. So it's a good question, but it is coming up. So as we start to look at just kind of what is, if we describe in a couple of sentences what Dynamics 365 for retail is, this is kind of what we come up with. So it's a retail-specific workload. Again, we carve out those workloads like we've done for talent, like you're going to see us do for warehousing, manufacturing, distribution. Provide rapid time to value. How can you get up and going and measure it in days, weeks, or months as opposed to years with these old monolithic suites? Cloud engineered, anywhere, anytime, any way you want to do it. You want to deploy it in one of the, I think we now have 34 Azure data services around the world. We're the largest hyperscale cloud provider in the world. What that means to you is it costs us about $1 billion to build one data center because of the amount of compute and storage that we put in there to enable what you want to do, the machine learning, everything that goes with it. We can put it where you need it. You need it in Australia? We have that. South Korea that we've announced, South Africa, we have that. These are the areas that we're then able to go in and help support wherever your operations are now or in the future. You want to acquire a company that's in one of these areas, deploy a cloud instance that's in that area and be able to then hook into the back end. You can do two-tier ERP, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. That two-tier system allows you to not have to worry about the back end. We can take those systems of intelligence and those systems of operations and wrap it around your systems of administration and be able to help deliver what you need, how you need it. And then the lower total cost of ownership. How can we make it less expensive? We do that with how we're sealing the application for extensibility. You go to do updates and upgrades, whether it's with yourself or your partner's solution, we simplify that with extensions. We can do monthly platform updates that can provide almost zero downtime. That can make it seamless for you to be able to stay current with the operation. That's what part of the reason you pay that monthly fee for is because you want to not have to worry about doing that. You want to be able to uptake those updates, those new features, those new capabilities as quickly and as easily as you possibly can with the least amount of disruption. So this is kind of one of the ways that we look at, if you look at kind of the bottom, the retail headquarters could be Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. The top 8 boxes are kind of how we look at the different ways that customers can interact, or that you would interact with your customers, I should say. So whether it's working through cloud and MPOS store systems, being able to take, I decide I want to go do a pop-up store at the holidays. I take my cell phone out, and literally within about 5 minutes, I can download everything I need on it and turn it into a mobile POS system connected to your back-end operations. So a lot of times at the holidays, you're dealing with people that aren't familiar with your company. They're temporary workers. You want to make it as easy as possible for them to do it. And if something goes wrong, you just trash it, re-download it, and get back up and going again. You don't need tech people there to help set it up. Make it as simple and seamless as possible. Call center and catalog. You bought it, you placed an order online, but you got a problem. How do you call in and make sure that everyone's seeing that complete view of the customer at all times? And then the CRT you see up there, that's the commerce runtime. That's where you take the business logic, you create it once, but then you can run it everywhere. So no matter what platform you're on, what device you're on, it's the same experience, the same business logic. You simplify that greatly without having to worry about that anymore. Whether it's a Windows device, whether it's Android, iOS, doesn't matter. Whether it's Lenovo, whether it's Acer, whether it's HP, doesn't matter. It'll just work. And so we talked about taking the complexity out of it. And you'll hear us, it sounds like we're talking about it a lot. It's because we hear it so much from companies. It's so hard to do this. It's so hard to get up and running. It's so hard to keep it current. And customers, they're constantly trying to just race to keep up with everything. We want to make that a little easier. So as we look at this, the long project timelines, we want to make it simple, retail optimized. We don't have to worry about the back end. And we'll talk a little bit about how we've kind of gone from that operations view where you may have 34 extra fields you don't need. We remove that. We don't bring that to retail. We just bring those fields, those entities that you need, and enable those for you and automate it. Help you give different ways that you can batch load, get things up and going faster, be able to implement and be able to stay current more easily. Start small and expand later. Just start with retail. Get it up and going, make a deployment where you need it, maybe hook it to a back-end SAP or Oracle system. But then as you start to grow and expand, maybe you want to start looking at distribution. Maybe you want to look at retail. Maybe you want, or excuse me, manufacturing. Being able to then add those pieces in as you need it and only pay for what you need and what you use. Again, we talked about incompatible with existing systems. With CDS and what we're doing as an underlying layer, we're actually providing connectors that go into all sorts of systems. We have connectors that go to SAP and Oracle. We have systems that are going to be going to all these different suppliers, and we're constantly building more and more of them as we go. If you need one, let us know. We'll work with you and the vendors to be able to build that out. Right now, I think we're around 400 connectors for CDS, and we've got a few hundred in the pipeline as well that we're working on. And we recognize as Microsoft, it's not just about us anymore. It's about what you need to make it better to run your systems. So that's why we've done part of the ceiling, getting the CDS piece in place and making it consistent so that you can make it much easier to deploy and run. Hard to customize, like I talked about with CDS, Power Apps, and Flow, being able to have your workers themselves to create. You know, people are out in the field and they go, God, I wish I had a view that looked like this. Instead of having to go through a long, drawn-out process, they can sit down and they can actually just drag and drop and put things together in the way they want, create a flow that can go across applications. They can do it in 15 minutes. Publish it out. They like it, great. They don't, throw it away, create a new one. But empower them to be able to do that, to be more productive. They're the ones that know what they need. Make it easier for them to bring it to the organization. And then we talked about staying current. AppSource helps you get those systems that you want from partners, their expertise, where they know exactly if you're a retailer that's doing this type of business, maybe sporting goods, they know that industry. So they've created a solution that you can actually deploy directly to the cloud that has all the entities, all the data, everything that you need set up. They just need to then help you batch load your data and you're off and running. You don't have to go through a long, complex piece. They've already done all that work for you. So in the past, a year ago, this is kind of what the lay of the land looked like for Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. So retail was one of the industry solutions that we had that ran on all of your back office systems, the financials, supply chain, inventory, everything. And then as we came to July 1st, with the latest release, you'll see that we've got everything in there, but what we started to do is to break out these different workloads. And this is just the beginning. We are going to have operations. We are going to have finance. We're going to have manufacturing. We're going to be able to bring to you what you need in those composable workloads that maybe works for just part of your organization. Maybe you only need a manufacturing piece for operations in China, but you need a warehousing system that you need in the US or Asia or EMEA. It doesn't matter. I like this one just because it's a simple way of showing kind of 6 major benefits that we have with retail. As we look at this, unify the business processes across channels, being able to sit there no matter where you are, be able to deliver to customers what they want, where they want, how they want, and when they want. Fosters brand loyalty with omni-channel customer experiences. You want customers to come to you. I flew out here on Delta. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but if you're on Delta and you buy something on the plane with a little mobile device, that's AX. That's Dynamics 365. And they had something I had never seen before, which I thought was really slick. They came to me at my seat, and they told me, Mr. Haight, we see that you're connecting in Atlanta. You're going to be arriving at Terminal A, Gate 12. Your connection is Gate 15, Terminal A. They told me, because I always hate you get off the plane, everyone's rushing to get out, and you stop and look up those screens, and you get run over, because everyone else is trying to get off the plane. But that was the first time I was like, someone thought about it, they came up with a new business process, they deployed it, they put it on the device, it's a mobile device, because I could see the list that she had. She was literally going seat by seat. And it didn't take very long, but I thought that was really slick, and I was like, you know, that's something that's an experience for me I like. I'm not a diamond level traveler, as I'm sure some of you in the room are, but for me, it's always a pain in the ass to do that. So I'm super excited to see that and go, wow, that's kind of cool. Empowers employees to provide outstanding service, giving the employees the tools to create that experience or enhance the experience, to walk up to a customer in the store and go, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, this is great. Yeah, let's pull up your, oh, you see you have a wish list here. Actually, we have a special running on that right now because machine learning in the background has seen what their trending has been for the last couple of years and says, hey, they usually tend to buy this now. Let's kind of make sure that they want to get that. Oh, and in addition to that, we have some other suggestions based on what other customers have bought. Maybe you'd like to do this. Simple things like if you buy a Surface, you need a keyboard. Do you want to go buy something in the store, maybe a dress or something like that, something to go with it, accessories to go with it, jewelry or something like that. Being able to pull all that together and deliver it seamlessly, cleanly. Daily store operations, being able to work through all those daily things, logins, tracking, you know, scheduling, all that kind of stuff. Being able to help deliver that simply through the different POS interfaces that you have. Strategic planning and merchandising, the data. How can you see it? What does the data tell you? Machine learning can help you look at that, spot trends, see what's going on. You start to then look at what you can do on the back end for looking at Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. Oh, inventory is low. You could have a flow set up that when it hits a certain level, it automatically triggers the reorder from a supplier, notifies the warehouse that it's going to be coming, make sure you can schedule it, and then also can figure out what you need to do in terms of restocking inventory at the store level or providing it for customers. Being able to let them know, oh, I know that that order is going to be coming in on Tuesday. I can then make sure I turn around and ship it out. You'll have it Thursday. And you'll know that automatically. And that also gets into the supply chain piece as well. So I think there's a lot that we're trying to put into this to understand what our customers are looking for to deliver to their customers. So as we look at capabilities, kind of three main areas. We're going to go into each one of these in a little more detail, but the rich and retail optimized, rich experiences specifically tailored just to retail. It's Dynamics 365 for retail. We're just staying laser focused on that. Flexible, modern, and global. Again, being able to deliver what you want, where you want, and then the sealed and extensible. So as we look at rich and optimized, it's that end-to-end omni-channel experience. And we help bring that to life with Microsoft Dynamics Lifecycle Services. Those of you who've been working with Dynamics Dynamics AX 2012, R3 or later, you've been working with Lifecycle Services. It's a cloud-based service designed to be a collaborative workspace between you and your partner, giving clear visibility to what's going on in your implementations in terms of deployment, in terms of updates, in terms of upgrades, and being able to give that experience that's unified and clear within your organization. The CFO, the CEO, the CIO can all see the same information. Your partner can see the same information. And more importantly, you can see what the partner's doing. So there is no confusion of what's the bug backlog, what's going on with my burn down, what's going on with my implementation. Hey, you're supposed to spin this up, why isn't that up? You get that clear visibility into what's going on. And we manage you through the entire application lifecycle. So it's also for support, filing support tickets, doing updates and upgrade analysis. We'll actually look at an implementation, analyze it, and say, hey, here are the 5 modules that are going to be infected by this update. Give an idea of what those pieces are they're going to need to look at, what are those entities that are touched, and be able to help plan what you're going to do in terms of testing and deployment. Discover, define, build, and operate with tools and self-service options. We're moving more and more to try to pull things like point-in-time restores, database updates, uploads, things like that. Being able to take it so you can do it when you want on your time, on your schedule, and be able to not have to worry about scheduling it through our dynamic systems engineers, but just initiate it when you want it. Simplify, retail optimized, and expandable. You've heard us talk about this, fully retail focused, optimized for it, and we'll get into a little bit of what that means for the entities and everything else. but then expandable. CDS, customized extensions, what you want to do, how you want to do it. I think enhanced initialization, getting started, and setup wizards. How do we help you get up and going? We've done this now with hundreds of customers. We know what they need to do. We know the process they need to do. And more importantly, in lifecycle services, we have a methodology. There's a kind of a checklist. Do it in this order. Don't go 1, 3, 2. Go 1, 2, 3. Because we know farther down at step 87, 2 before 3 simplifies that farther down. Use our expertise, use our knowledge to help make your operations easier. The app tours and task guides. What an experience, and we have a quick screenshot of that I'll see in just a second, where it's some new user who comes in who's never seen Dynamics 365 before in your organization will come up and will say, hi, Winston. We know this is your role. Here are these task guides. Here are these step-by-step kind of playbooks for you of what you need to do for these different types of operations. And if you forget 6 months from now, you can always go back and turn it on. Take 5 minutes and walk through it. You don't have to call the help desk. You don't have to go to a power user. Just go and see what we've predefined for you and be able to understand how to do it. We'll even give you in-app experiences for it. You may have seen that, the little black box that floats around the screen that shows you what's the next field and the next step you have to do. And then branding, licensing, and pricing. Being able to give you that omni-channel branding piece, the licensing, and being able to get to the pricing pieces that just make it a lot easier for you to understand what your costs are going to be. Your CFO loves that. Being able to go to them and say, hey, we know we've got this update that's coming. We need to add these number of users, and it's going to take us 6 months to get up and going. And they have the confidence from the repeatability and predictability to know, yeah, you are going to do that. It's not ballparking. No, it's about 50,000, give or take 30%. They're like, whoa, 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 I don't want to do that. I'll take it to plus or minus 3%, but not 30%. And having them understand, yeah, if we want to do this update, we want to do this rollout, this is what it's going to cost us. Again, we talked about, this is lifecycle services for those who haven't seen it. As you see here, we just got this series of checkboxes that you go through, and we take you in order. Partners can actually expand that. If they get into specialty areas, they can include and add in additional steps that they know are specific to that type of environment, that type of retail experience. And we make it as simple as we possibly can. Again, this is part of what's shared between you as the customer and the partner. So one of the problems we've had in the past is that when you are looking at retail, just retail, instead of just looking at for operations, you can get a lot of entities you just don't need. So there's a lot of work you have to look at. What do we deal with these different entities? What do we need to do to set up? We look at it and say, well, for retail, we're just going to focus on those fields that you need. So the ones that are red and highlighted, those aren't used by retail. So what do? We don't include them. You don't have to worry about them. Optimized for retail. That's what we're trying to do. And so we try to come in. I'm going to build this. So some of the major entities that are covered, you all are going to see. These are common for what you're doing. But this is what we focused on. Being able to bring this in specific to retail, stay focused on retail. Again, if you want that operations back end, you want your systems of operations in there, we can do that. Your systems of administration, we can help you with that. Go get a different license SKU, enter it in, boom, they'll all appear for you. But they're not there if you don't need it. Again, only what you need when you need it. And then being able to help look at this for the enhanced initialization, getting up and going as quickly as possible. How do we sit there and go, these are a lot of the entities that you're going to be working with. By the way, these slides will be available. You all can download these because I know that's kind of small to be able to see right now. But they're all payment journals, default language for current company, purchase requisition, business justification codes, all these different things that you can use, and you can create additional ones. It's not that you're just locked at this, but we know these are the standard ones, working with these companies over and over, these hundreds of customers that we've had and gone, these are the ones they always go to first. Let's give you that base piece to start with, that foundation, and then build up from there for what you need. And the one thing I like on here, 235 retail-specific entities. You probably can't think of 235 retail-specific entities as you're sitting there right now. I couldn't when they first started talking about it. But it makes sense as you start to go through this. And again, just what you need, giving you those foundational pieces to get up and going as quickly as possible. And then this is what I was talking about, this personalized experience. You come in, welcome, Anil. This is what, and for those who haven't seen it, this is what Dynamics 365 looks like. This is what Dynamics 365 for retail is going to look like. It's a modern ERP system. We've used that as the basis for going to Dynamics 365 for retail. So it's the same visual experience they're going to have whether they're in just retail or in finance and operations. Easily get started, the basics. These are the pieces I talked about. They can easily get up and going because they can see these videos that you record and say, hey, this is what we do. This is how the process is for doing this. If you want to pay a purchase order, we can show you how to do that. You need to post a journal entry, we'll show you how to do that. Most commonly used entities, again, quick wizards. We know the process you have to go through. These 12 steps, why not automate that? Why not allow you to be able to do batch uploads and things like that to be able to get up and going as quickly as possible? And then again, videos, task guides, and app tours in the POS itself. Example you get if you've got an employee on the floor and he can't remember what it is, he can say, oh, excuse me, let me just go talk to my manager for a second. They can step off to the side, pull up the video, go through what they need to, and go back out on the floor. They got the answer they need, exactly what they need, when they need it. Keeps the manager from having to be disrupted, but they get the information they need to be able to help the customer finish the transaction. And again, as we talk about kind of the whole Dynamics 365 for operations piece here, as we go in for retail, we try to just zoom in on that area that is just the important part for retail itself. And take out the parts that aren't essential and leave that on the back end. And then when you go through in licensing, be able to then figure out what you need to do. If you want to extend into operations, just get the additional SKU, go in, enter the SKU number, you're good to go. Or I should say enter the license key, you're good to go. Flexible, modern, and global. Cloud, edge, and on-prem. You may have heard these are the 3 deployment options that we have for Dynamics 365 for operations. We've actually been doing edge, which is the new piece, since last fall with retail. What does the edge mean? It means that you've got a cloud service. What happens when someone cuts the internet? I'm sure you've all been experienced where, someone digging a trench out by the mall slices the cable going in. What do? How do you keep going? Because you don't have an internet connection. You go to these edge deployments where you're actually putting hardware, a store scale unit as we talk about it, in your store. They can continue to transact. They can do SKU lookups. They can do price checks. They can transact and do what they need to. They can keep moving, make price changes, whatever. It all continues even without that connection. So you can have the mobile POS piece, which is cloud-based, which can continue, or you can actually have that store scale unit that allows you to continue operations. And what happens when the connection is restored? It just syncs back up to the cloud, and everything continues. No, the MPOS offline is different. That's a different tier. The MPOS offline, just to repeat the question, the MPOS offline is that the device itself can continue working without a connection to the cloud. What we're talking about is being able to transact in the store. Your cash registers and everything can still function using the edge piece without a connection to the internet. So we're giving multiple layers of kind of redundancy, if you will, and support for your operations. It's a good question, though. Available and localized in many companies. I've got a slide right after this that'll show you the details on that. Multi-company, multi-brand operations. We're not just about one piece anymore or one product. Everyone's growing not only organically but through acquisition. How do you help support that? We've got that built in. And it adapts to your needs and your wants. Being able to scale what you need, say at Black Friday. One of the ways I talked with a CIO recently, and it seems very consistent. They go out to their team and go, okay, tell me what I'm going to need for the next 3 years. They double it. That's how much hardware they buy. You don't need to worry about that. Just buy the subscription, get online, and start going. We auto-scale the cloud to be able to support what you need. Give us a heads up. We obviously know for Black Friday and coming into the holiday season, you're going to need more compute power. But we can help support that without you having to go out and make any changes. You don't have to go buy additional hardware, deploy it, provision it, get it up and going. It's just the cloud. It just scales. It's the beauty of the cloud. Again, we talk about why we invest $1 billion in these data centers. It's to allow that scalability when you need it. The asterisk, the on-prem piece that's coming is right now, if you deploy Dynamics 365 for retail as a cloud-based service, it doesn't run on-premises yet. We're looking at that. There's a piece with Dynamics 365 for finance and operations that just went for on-prem. If you deploy that, you do not have any retail capabilities. Dynamics 365 for retail is just a cloud-based service right now, but we are looking into being able to bring it on-prem. I'm glad you asked. Not trying to hide anything from you all, but it's a good thing to pull out. We talked about platform, device, and peripheral choices. We don't care. Platform or hardware doesn't matter. Completely agnostic. What do you need? Do you need ruggedized pieces because you're going to be in an area, you're going to be outside at some outside event, and you need something that's waterproof? Go ahead and use it. We don't care. Doesn't matter. So let's go through. I think this is the next slide that talks about so the different countries that we're available in. And to your point, I'll read the little piece down at the bottom here. It says India, Austria, Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, India, Latvia, Lithuania, Malaysia, and Poland will ship for retail by the end of calendar year 2017. We're continuing to innovate. We're continuing to drive value for that subscription that you're paying. It's not just get you online and just go, hey, thanks very much, and just keep paying us every month for the next 5 years, and we're not going to give you anything. We know we have to stay current. We have to stay competitive ourselves to allow you to be competitive. But again, being able to give you that full functionality on a global scale. You may not need it now, but you know you've got that ability to do it. What if you want to buy a company in Sweden? Geez, can we even support it? Yeah, we can support it. Sealed and extensible. We'll talk about that in a little bit with Muguntham, but again, I think we've talked about it enough of what it means. It means we're simplifying what you need to do. We simplify your ability to extend the product to be whatever type of service you want it to be. Give that special business process that you have that maybe is your secret sauce, your special way of doing something, will allow you to put that in there. But by putting it in there, it's not going to then disrupt your ability to stay current and update and upgrade. And again, talking about what we can do, and I think part of what you look at up here, it's the flexibility. To get a little technical when you get down to the bottom, removes code merge from servicing and upgrade. You're not doing a lot of this highly technical stuff. It's being done in the background as part of the platform updates and upgrades. So we're simplifying it as much as we possibly can. And it's the bottom one here, and again, we don't put it at the bottom to try to hide anything, but the continuous update at the monthly cadence. We're a cloud-based service. It's a whole different world. For those who are used to ERP systems that update every 2 to 3 years, we literally are updating every month. And so everyone asks, how do we stay current with it? We seal it. Yes, so there's a question. Oh, first of all, for the sealing, to answer your first question is, what does it mean by sealing? What we mean is that we seal it from overlayering. And in the past, that's what a lot of companies did. You would go out and create customizations, and you'd overlay it over the code. The problem was, as soon as you did that, if we made a change underneath it, it could break what was on top of it. So it was a very long, lengthy test process you'd have to go through. We'd have to do a lot of regression testing and everything to make sure that we were doing whatever we could. But we could never guarantee for customers that the updates would not break what they were doing. By sealing it and going to extensions, what you have, the extensions are going out. They're extending out from the code to go do whatever individual piece in between the steps that are going on that you need, and then coming back to the code. So if we seal the base can be updated very easily and very seamlessly without any disruption of what you're doing. The CRT is the, I think that's the compute runtime. That's the piece where we have that business logic that you create once but can run anywhere. So it runs on platform or device agnostic, it doesn't matter. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Muguntham and let him walk you through some demos.
Yeah. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. So I'm going to show you some demo, like Winston talked about, like how you can closely or like personally engage with your customer. Right? So I'm going to show some demo with our point of sale application, how you can like engage with your customer. So this is our modern point of sale application. So before coming to this modern point of sale application, say for example, as a customer, what they will generally do is like they will go to our e-commerce site, or they will use our consumer app, and then what the customer can create a wish list or a browse for a product, and then he can add it to a catalog. Right? And later you want to like look for some promotion, whether it's coming, what are the information change on the product, you like to know that, right? So for example, if I log in as a customer, this is our test sample online e-commerce site. So I'm not going to log in anything, but as a customer, you can go to our e-commerce portal and then log in, say you created a wish list. Then as a customer, you come to the store and ask the cashier, like, is there any promotion available on this particular product? I added in a wish list. But in general, in most of the other point of sale, the cashier doesn't have information what product you looked online or what are your recent purchase, right? So what we did was like to bring that personalized experience to the cashier and the customer. So we created like a 365 view of a customer. So I will search for a customer here. So if I go into the customer details, basically the 365-degree view of that customer, you can see like what all the recent purchases done by that customer, and also you can see like, hey, what are the recommended products for him. All this recommendation is basically coming from our machine learning service. So what we do is like we process what is the customer recent purchase and what is his buying pattern. Based on that, we put the recommendation for you, for that customer. Also, like for example, that customer created a wish list, then the cashier will know like, hey, the customer has created like 2 wish lists, one is for his dress and one is for his shoes. He can like look into those products. Okay, so these are the products the customer intend to buy. So what the cashier can do, hey, if there is available promotion, he can explain the customer, and also he can show like compare the products. For example, so when I select a product, then he can like show the comparison between those 2 products, and he can go into the details of the product and show like, hey, what is that product feature and everything, right? So then as a customer, he can select like, I want to buy this particular product. He can select one of this product and then say like the different variety and the availability information, all those he can tell. Like if a customer will say, I want to buy this in a different store, he can also view that information. And the customer wishes, hey, okay, I want to buy this product. So he can like select a particular size, and then whichever the color the customer wishes, and then he can add that item. And then we can, as usual, like you can go and complete the transaction. You can view the cart information, and then when I go to the transaction screen, and the customer can complete the transaction. Also, the customer would have sent like, hey, I've seen some other product in a different store, now I want to buy that, but in your store, I don't see that product. Even in that case, also what you can do is like, let me complete this sale. Okay, so I completed the sale meeting by the equal cash amount. Now the customer say, I looked the product in online, he want to ask like whether can I buy that stock here and then pick up in a different store. Even what you can do is in this, like we have like a cat, say for example, let me search for some product which is, so like I'm just looking for some dress here. Okay, so this is like the on-store product available, right? What he can also do is like he can go to our catalog here, and then he can change the catalog for different products, and then by it, even he can look into the other store catalogs also. So let me search for some product which is not found. Let me say like, because this is like I configure the store for more like a fashion, I look for like television. Maybe I added a television, something, I will add a different product which is not available. So what he can do is like he can even search the other store products. And so you can see like search all store product, which is going to search product across your all the stores and the online channel and bring that information for him. So you can go and search for all store products, where I have like lot of televisions here, for example. So it bring like different version of like the television product, and then he can add that to the cart also and then sell it. Okay. So with this model, like we bring like more personalized experience for each of the customer, as I said, like in the customer details. So you can see his recent purchases. So now the cashier can very closely engage with the customer and talk to him saying like, hey, this is your recent purchases. And also you can tell like these are the recommended product based on your buying pattern. So you can do a upsell or cross-sell all of this product. Okay. So this is like the quick demo on like how you can closely engage with your customer. The next demo I'm planning to show is like, hey, how you can customize our product. Like we talked a lot about the ceiling and extension, right? There are different patterns for customizing our product. So I'm going to show like a 2 quick demo. So the one is like, say you want to customize something. You have a question? Yeah. It's all automatic. During deployment, you just need to say like, I need the recommendation service. It all happens programmatically. You no need to do anything here. Just in the, during deployment, there is option A, I want the recommendation service from Microsoft. If you enable it, it will automatically show up for that customer. I think we have option to turn it on, but I'm not sure about that, but let me check. But during deployment, you can turn that option, yep. Okay. So the other thing I want to show about the extensibility is like there is like where you want to completely build a new feature, say like you want to build your own warranty management service, something that you can still completely customize our product also. So for example, I built like a small demo where you want to show the store opening hours and closing hours, right? So what I did was like we completely built a new entity, okay, which gonna talk to AX and get the store information. So if I click the store hours, so I just like built a complete custom entity here, which shows like store opening hours and close hours. You can click any of this guy and then update the store hours, which will publish not only within the local store, it will also publish to the HQ also. So it will update the HQ. So even from other store, if you would, it will show this information. So you can click update, and it will update real time in the both HQ as well as in the local store also. So the store will always get updated. So this demo is quickly to show how you can build this new feature. And all this new feature is based on built upon our new extensibility pattern, like without touching our code. So like if you did some customization, you don't need to worry about, hey, during upgrade, do I need to do a code merge, or if I like to, because now we are releasing it monthly, then you can worry about, hey, do I need to involve my developer every time or my IT programmer every time to merge this code, right? But with our new pattern, you don't need to do all of those here, okay? The next demo I'm going to show is like, so this is like completely new feature, right? So you may ask question like, hey, if I want to modify your workflow, so in that case, how will you do that customization without touching your code, right? So for example, you are selling some serialized inventory, and then the inventory you want not only validate with our database, say you want to validate with like a third-party service. So you are selling a phone service, and then you want to validate that serial number with a third-party service. So how will you do those kind of integration without validating, right? Without touching our code. So I'm going to show you like a quick demo here. So for example, I search for a television, which is like a serialized product here, okay? So if I add this item to the cart, so if I add this item to cart, it will going to ask me for a serial. So I click like I'm clicking sell now. So what are the icon? Select a style. So it's going to ask for a serial number, right? So by default, what we do, we just validate with our database. As I said, in your scenario, you want to validate with a third-party system. So how you can do that is like you can just develop an integrate. What we did is like we provided extension hook across different scenarios in the product. So for a sample, I did like if I put like 111, it's going to throw me error saying like, hey, this is not a valid serial number. So this is kind of like I built an extension without like doing inline changes. Maybe in my next session, I will show like how you can do all this. But you can, that pattern I said, like you can completely develop a new feature also, or you can completely customize our existing workflow across different section. For example, each step when add item to cart, it has like multiple steps. It's going to fetch the product price. It's going to fetch the discount, and then it's going to see like what is the best recommendation for this product. All those going to shoot. So you can customize our product across any station of that workflow without doing any inline changes. And other one cool thing we are working on here is like, right? So other thing is like, you can either customize our product using code. Also, we are now more moving towards like a configuration-driven development. So for example, let me create a new customer. So for example, if I go to the new customer, say if I want to like create a new customer, right? So for example, if you want to like in the customer master, you want to add new fields. So if you see this attribute section, it's all like coming from a configuration. Now we are more moving towards like a configuration driven, where you can just like configure for new fields. It's like we are slowly extending this feature for across multiple different scenarios. You can configure our workflow, or like you can configure our screens to add like new fields. So this is the other way also we are slowly moving towards like the configuration driven development. Another one more thing we're also doing is like you can also integrate like Power. For example, the Power Apps, you can design some apps like everything like through drag and drop and the Excel way of coding it. You can even plug our Power App. That's our future of like extending, where you can even power our plug apps as a custom control somewhere here in the screen. So you can like put the Power Apps here, and then you can integrate with Flow or whatever. Say for example, when you created a customer, you want to send an email to that customer, hey, your account has been created, this is your loyalty number, or something, your case status has been changed. So all those can also be integrated in the future version. That's where we are working, how you can plug the Power Apps also within the point of sale. Okay. Those are the different cool scenarios like we are trying how to extend our product both through configuration, through code, also without doing any inline changes. So if you do follow our extension pattern and do the changes for any upgrade or anything, it just kind of like just take your hotfix and then apply. You don't need to do any code merge or anything. Yep, that's about it. Thanks everyone. Yeah.
Great. Switch back over. Yeah. Thanks, Mukuntham. So I think as you can see from what we're trying to deliver is kind of continuing that story forward of, not sure if the mic's on. Can everyone hear me okay? Okay, great. So, the money slide for what's the difference between operations and what's retail, this is the slide you were talking about. So if you're looking at a retail-focused end-to-end solution, you go with retail. If you're looking for end-to-end operations, you're going to start looking at Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. So when you're starting to look at what you want to do with the ERP piece underneath it. Again, if you want to just carve out that operational piece and be able to deploy it and run it, you can just do that with the retail piece. When you start to look at wrapping it around and being able to wrap it around your systems of intelligence, or excuse me, your systems of administration. The systems of administration is kind of your ERP part and being able to do that. Yes. Well, it's technically no. We're going to be putting a lot more effort into Dynamics 365 for retail, but when you buy that Plan 2 SKU that gives you operations, you will get the functionality of retail with it. But it'll be the retail component of it. It won't, like right now, as you say, we can deploy Dynamics 365 for finance and operations on-prem. You don't get the retail component with it. It's a cloud piece. Yes. Yes. You would get all of it. Yes. No, because you would have that full capability of the retail, plus you'd get the Power Apps, the Flow, you'd get all that other stuff that would come with it and be able to get it. Right, exactly. Overall, this on the online, definitely. Yes, there's a question behind you. Can you do the extensions the same way in Dynamics 365 for retail as you do for Dynamics 365 for sales and everything else? Yes, but again, keep in mind that retail is the first app. It's now being completely deployed as an extensibility model, not overlaying. So it'll be a little bit different in the sense of how you do it, but you can fully customize it. There's no limit to the customizations you can do. The process for it or the triggers for it will be different because you're going through the extensions. Does that make sense? I'm not sure you. Okay. Okay. There's a question behind you. The question is, can he have a mix of finance and operations users as well as retail users? Yes. And you can also have team users that would go across both. So we're trying to make it as simple as possible. And keep in mind, those team users also go, to your question before about CRM, they go across all of Dynamics 365. So that's kind of a unique piece you get with that of being able to have those people that are light users that just need simple access. You can just get them, and I think it's $8 a user. But that'll go across the entire Dynamics 365 suite. So to your point about breaking out the retail specifically, it'll be retail, it'll be operations. It could be, as we get farther down the line, the operations piece, a finance piece, distribution piece. Yes, sir. Same instance. Different instance. It'll be a different instance. Same tenant, but a different instance. Because you're deploying, Gunthem, is that right?
Can you hear me? Yeah. The same deploy, it can be the same instance also. You can it's kind of like a configuration key where you can turn on and turn off. I can go with like retail, or you can go with a full-blown finance and operation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's not required. It's kind of the retail is kind of like it's configuration key driven. So if you turn off that configuration, where you'll get the full finance and operation. So if yeah.
No, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. So if you start with Dynamics 365 for retail and decide I want to go to operations later, the operational pieces are there. You just need to turn them on. So it'd be the same instance, same tenant. Another question. For card processing, I believe we have some, yes.
Yeah.
The question was, do we have any payment solutions for card processing?
Yeah. So out of the box, we have, we have Verifone support, and I think we are working on few other with MasterCard and some other service provider also. Yeah. But out of the box, I think we have like Verifone support, and we are working with few more providers. And also, like if you want like some other new third-party provider, the solution is like completely customizable, where you can connect to any third-party payment providers. Yeah.
Are the payment extensions
Yeah,
there?
it's available. Yep. You can extend payment.
It's part of the entities will be there to be able to do that, so then you
Yep.
can then customize the extensions for what you want.
Yeah, because you can, I've seen like some of the partner already customized with Go with like a Shift 4 connector or the Kaon connector. I see already partner customized and deployed it. Yeah.
Oh, we have another question here. Yes. Yes. So the question is how configurable is the machine learning algorithm for what customers are doing? It's fully configurable. To the example that someone had asked before when Gunthem was up, you start out, we have a base configuration of the machine learning, but you can actually get into the entire machine learning algorithm and customize it however you want. So again, giving you those foundational pieces, you deploy Dynamics 365 for retail, there's machine learning pieces there, base core functionality. You want to deep dive in and get your analysts in there and start working on it, you can do whatever you want with it. Yeah. So as deep as you want to go.
Yeah. If you want to use your own machine learning algorithm also, you can drop our control, you can add up, or on top of this recommendation, the result, you can customize the logic or add some additional logic, still it's all possible. Yeah.
And I think that's a really good point too, to talk about the cloud functionality and what this does. You can deploy this whole instance, we can get all the machine learning set up, Cortana analytics, but you start to then you can extend into all these different all these different cloud-based services that you need. So you can do the machine learning at as deep dive as you want to do. Azure Active Directory to be able to do single sign-on and verification. Enterprise mobility and security, being able to secure your physical devices that you have, being able to, if one disappears, you can wipe it automatically and not have to worry about anyone having any of your data. You start to then, with these cloud-based services, go into other Azure services so much easier. And it's seamless. It's simple just to step into those areas, plug in the parts that you want. I mean, people don't realize it. Just for Dynamics 365 for operations, we use 35 Azure services to run it. 35. We're the most extensive service in Microsoft. And so because we know how to do that, we can help plug in those areas that you need and help to expand it into those areas that maybe you don't even know are there, but to help to be able to bring additional value to what you're doing. Yes, sir. I think there is some headquarters piece in retail, but are there specific parts that you're talking about from the headquarters? Multi-store enabled?
Yeah.
Yep.
So all the retail, if I understand the question is whether the retail HQ has all the capabilities related to retail.
Is that your question?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's multi-store.
Multi-store, yeah.
Definitely multi-store,
yeah.
Multi-store, multi-country. Yes, sir, another question. Mm-hmm. So I think the question is, how can we help support multiple stores across the world? Yep. So the question is, how do you deal with different latencies in different areas of the world running on a single instance? So you can address it in different ways. You can have an instance that runs locally, like if you have an operation that's running, say you have operations in North America and you want to do something in Australia, you can do a deployment in Australia where all of the MPOS and everything is going to Australia data centers as opposed to trying to traverse the network back to the US. The flip side is that Microsoft is the second largest dark fiber owner in the world. We own over 1.5 million miles of dark fiber that connects all of our Azure data centers together. That's what's allowed us to get over 70 global certifications for Azure, is that we own the data, or we own the fiber that's connecting everything. So you get very low latencies. The other thing you can look at too is you can look at Azure Express Route. What that is that you can go, there's almost 80 Express Route connect points around the world. And what you could do is set up an Express Route that would allow you to connect locally, say in Australia, but then once it connects locally, it's using that low latency background, that dark fiber backbone to be able to get to whatever you want. So right now we have an example, it's an operations example, but it's the best one I know. A container corporation that's global has an operation, they're running in a US data center. Their corporate headquarters are in Europe. They have manufacturing in Brazil and China. Because China's infrastructure isn't consistent enough, they use Express Route. And the latency they're getting is about 80 milliseconds from China to connect, go to the US data center, and return. And we can work with you on that. Our systems engineers are really good at being able to step through and figure out what you can do to do that. But that's a question a lot of people ask is, yeah, I've got 5,500 stores around the world. How do I deal with things in Vietnam and Cambodia and Malaysia and Philippines? And how can we make sure that we have the right experience there? We can work with you on that. We have a lot of solutions for it. Yep. You have a question, sir? The question is, do we have any plans for connecting Dynamics 365 for retail with AX2012? Yes. A lot of it's going to be done through the connectors that'll be available. If there's something specific that you're wondering about, we can talk about afterwards to see if there's specific functionality. It might be a little easier to talk about that. But, and we're always interested. That's this whole thing about extensions. Like I said, we've got customers that are coming to us with ideas. Let us know. And I'll show you in just in a second how you can let us know. But let us know. We want to hear from you because these are the things. You're not alone. I'm sure there's other customers that are going to ask the same question as that.
Yeah. And also one more to add to that, we also have something called the N-1 support. Still your client can be AX2012, but you can migrate just the HQ to the latest version. So we do that N-1 support also. Yeah.
Which again, it comes back to the cloud support of what you can get to. We want to keep you current, but we realize we can't drag everyone kicking and screaming. We've got to be able to support what you've got in place now and be able to make sure that we maintain that support. Any other questions? Yeah, another question here.
I need to know the Microsoft vision. Basically, they have introduced this Dynamics for retail operations, and there is the finance and operations separately.
Yes.
So, the more functionality, where we will be getting the more functionality, the updated functionality. Are we getting on the retail side, or Microsoft will be also doing the enhancement of these finance and operations retail?
So if I understand your question correctly, it's making sure that we're continuing to innovate and drive evolution of both Dynamics 365 for retail and Dynamics 365 for finance and operations. Absolutely. Absolutely. You're going to see we have the fall releases that are coming out for Dynamics 365 for retail and finance and operations. We're continuing to move those forward. So there's no question. We're not just doing retail and throwing it off to the side and letting it sit. We need to stay competitive ourselves. We've got to keep up with our competitors to make sure we're offering the features and functionality that your customers are asking for so we can deliver that as well.
In fact, the platform is same for both finance and operation and retail. Everything is like kind of built as an app on top of that. So whatever you do in finance and operation will be there in the retail. It's more like enabling and disabling.
And again, like the question was from over here on the other side, it's Dynamics 365 for retail is a subset of operations all up. So we have those data entities and things that are there for operations. We just don't light them up in retail because you're just focused on retail. You want that, absolutely. Well, you'll have that capability there, and you'll automatically get whatever the latest version is with operations in terms of feature functionality. Any other questions? All right. So again, I think we've covered a lot of this stuff in terms of what's the default choice between retail and operations. I think the one thing about retail is just, again, it's a compostable workload. It's a smaller subset so we can get it up and running faster. And a lot of companies that we're looking at, and I think it really, this two-tier piece, for those who aren't maybe exactly sure what it is, and we've run into this kind of question before, you can do retail on the front end, Dynamics 365 for retail, but your backend can be SAP. Don't change your backend operation. Don't change what you got going on in HQ. Leave that there. But take and put retail on the front end. Get that modern POS experience. Get that unique omni-channel experience that customers want and demand without having to do anything on your back end. We can plug in with the connectors. We can get the data flow. We can still work with the Power BI. We can still work with machine learning. That's still capable. But don't worry. Don't have your management think that you're going to have to rip and replace your back end to be able to install retail. That's the beauty of it. You don't. So this is an area everyone always wants to ask. So what's coming next? This is great. You've got this new product. You're coming out in the fall. What are you going to have? We've got a really great website for that. And I'm going to show you two pieces here, which I think are really fantastic to show you what we can do. So let me switch over to, hopefully I've got the right one here. We'll get there. Let's go back. I may have to just extend here. Here we go. Whoops. So what we've got, this first one is called ideas. You've got an idea of what you want to have in the product. You have an idea of, hey, wouldn't it be great if Dynamics 365 for retail did X? Well, what you can do is come to ideas.dynamics.com. You can scroll down here, and you'll see we have retail. And what you can do is go in here, and it becomes, for lack of a better term, it's crowdsourcing. So you can come in and see the different ideas that people have proposed, and you can vote on something. We actually do look at this. Our development teams look at this every month and go, hey, what is the latest and greatest thing that's up there? You can come here. This is public. You can go to it at any time and scroll through and see what's available, what people are thinking about. And if you like it, vote on it. If you see something if you don't see something you want, add something. Describe what you want. Let others try to chime in on what they think is going to be good. It's a really good piece to use.
Even the customer attributes, it's actually like one of most commonly asked in the ideas portal. Based on that only, we build that feature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody was asking if we want a configuration driven for customer or creation. So we said okay, we'll add that feature. So based on the ideas portal only, we added that feature. Yeah. So we closely monitor this portal. Yeah.
And it's really important to us because you're the ones that are hearing what customers want, what your end users want. Let us know. We can then help to build out that functionality that you need. And then to the other piece about the roadmap. If you go to roadmap.dynamics.com, you're going to get to this page. I can come down and I can come to retail. You're now going to see for in development. In development is what's coming in the next release. So this is what's going to be coming in the fall release. And what we do is you can go down and scroll through this. Again, this is public as well. And we're really trying to be really clear of what's coming and what we're doing. This helps you to plan. It helps you to understand what you can do to help support your customers and what you then may want to do to extend and be prepared for when we bring out the new version. We also will show you what's new. This is what was released, in this case, in the July version update. The other thing we've got over here is previously released. That's what was in the prior release. So you can see what we did in the past, what we just updated, and what's coming. We're actually working with development as well to put a new tab that's the backlog. So trying to light up, this is the stuff that we're working on that we're trying to get to. The advantage to a monthly release cadence is that you may see it in the backlog and think, oh, geez, it may take years before we get it, and 2 months later we have it. Cloud speed is something you'll hear us talk about at Microsoft a lot. It's been a challenge for us to get used to, even in marketing. We'd have a new release that comes out. We've got a chance to build all this content, get everything ready, because a new release comes out every 3 years. In some cases now, some of the stuff we're doing, new releases come out every 2 weeks. But what we're doing is able to carve out, and the best way I describe it is, if we're here and we want to get there for where we're going, we know where our future is, and we start doing little incremental steps, we may find that 2 years from now, we're in a totally different place than we thought we were going to be, but we got there in increments and we brought you with us. We listened to customers and what they wanted. So instead of 2 years being over here and going, oh shoot, we should have gone left, we get there in incremental steps to help us get there. That's the beauty of cloud speed. That's what gives you that dynamics ability to be able to go in and do all this.
So there's a question.
Oh, there's a question? I'm sorry, yes. How do we prioritize our backlog? Carefully. I think it comes down to the ideas site helps because we can see what people are voting on and what's going on. Feedback that we're getting from our partners. Our partners are key to us to deliver that last mile. They're the ones that go in and have that functional expertise in areas that we just couldn't possibly staff for. I mean, we'd have to have 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 people on staff to be able to know all that. So we get the feedback from them of what's going on and what's happening. New features, new capabilities, new functionality comes to market. We want to make sure we support that. So we don't have any formalized, like, if you go in and do X, we'll automatically create it. We're constantly looking at and trying to reevaluate. That's the beauty of cloud speed is we can do it every month. So we may have something that suddenly pops up, a new industry regulation, GDPR, 4 scary letters for the people who know it. We're working on that. Cross Microsoft. You can go to our Trust Center, trust.microsoft.com. We have an entire section on GDPR. We are committed to supporting GDPR. So that is something that a year ago we weren't even looking at. You talk about the 3-year leap that you have to make when you used to do in the old world, we would have been annihilated by GDPR because of how fast it's coming in. For those who don't know, it's effective in May of next year. If you don't know about it, I highly suggest you read about it because the first penalty you have is 4% of your gross national revenue. But let's go back really quick to the slides. And we'll finish out here. So we talked about the roadmap. We have boot camps, workshops that we're working on, one in the US, one in EMEA, and one in APAC. These are for our partners and for our customers that want developers to be able to get more familiar with the product and what we're doing, understand what our extension model is, how that's going to work, and what you can use to develop it for yourselves. And again, it is for customers and partners. It's a little bit of a shift. We've been really focused on getting our partners up to speed. We now want our customers to be there with us as well. And again, deep dive technical understanding of what's going on with the product. A certification plan. We are going to have a certification for retail. Important for our partners to be able to demonstrate a competency so as you start to work with them, you can say, yes, they know the product, they've gone to these workshops, they understand what needs to be done, including exams. So we're taking this very seriously. We know this is important for you as customers to be able to understand that you can trust the partners to have the technical expertise necessary to support what you want to do. And you'll notice I said update headers and check notes. Forgot to take that out before I presented this slide. We had gone through and really, we're trying to find 3 buckets that we can put this together and kind of help you to understand how we're looking at this. So support your needs. Focus on the right target statements and the right verticals. Getting you what you need when you need it. That 2-tier, as I talked about, super important, especially when you start talking to CEOs and CFOs. Time is money. If you can get up and going faster, you're going to be able to realize what you're doing. And the other thing you can do too, you can get up and go in and say, hey, if it doesn't work, in a year we can cancel it. Oh, we've only paid for the subscription cost for that year that we've been working. Kind of some different ways you can start looking at how you're looking at the projects. Upgrading existing customers. We need to be able to get them to come current with what we're doing, be able to bring them along. The extensibility model is huge for that. And then start with a smaller footprint. You just have, when you want to try doing some retail in just one area of the world, go ahead and deploy Dynamics 365 for retail in Europe. Support your operations going on in France and see how it works. If you like it, extend it out, expand it out. Faster time to value, the omni-channel end-to-end. Being able to sit there and deliver that end-to-end customer experience, those rich and deep dive, connected experiences that customers want. You want someone, like for me, for Delta, that is something I hadn't even thought about, which would be great to do. That makes me think now when I go to book tickets, that is something that's going to help me. That's something that's going to make me think twice about who I go to book tickets with. Faster time to value with lifecycle services, that collaborative portal that you can sit there and work with. Flexible, modern, global, sealed and extensible. One Microsoft. Not only do you get the Dynamics 365 for retail, you start to then get into that whole Azure experience with Dynamics 365, or with Office 365, Microsoft 365, and being able to expand out into all those different areas that you may be able to use. And the ability, and I think some of the beauty that comes with this is we've worked with some retailers and they go, well, I've got these 6 or 7 disparate systems. Some they're 20 years old. They're so customized, they don't even look like what they were before. It's a pain to keep them up. It's costing us a fortune just to maintain them. Don't even ask us to make changes to the systems because it's a nightmare. You know, there's only 2 people in the company that know how to do it, and they don't even want to do it anymore because it's so hard. Okay, well, you want to modernize and bring that current. Well, what else do you want to do? That's what you'll hear us talk about is this digital transformation. It's not just about, oh, let's give you some new features and functionality. What does it allow you to do? So doing something like Dynamics 365 for retail not only gives you a visibility into what's going on in your operations, but it allows you to start doing some things like buy online and pick up in store. And we have it integrated into the product already. You don't have to go do a lot of customizations to do it. It's there. If you want to extend it, of course. But that functionality is already there. Transform and expand, ERP versus smaller workloads. You don't have to rip and replace. You can just go in and do the compostable workload that you want. And I think a lot of these other ones are ones that we've looked at. And I think transform is trusted advisors. You put your trust in us to not only protect your data, that's what we do with Azure, but also to make it available to wherever you want. And I think one thing that's clear from the Trust Center, you own your data. It's yours. You can choose where you want it. You tell us what you want to do with it. You grant access to whoever you want. And that's an important piece. When you start looking at some of the other cloud providers, they routinely will go and hand over data without your knowledge. We actually sued the Department of Justice last year and won because they served us with a warrant to hand over customer data. We said, no, we don't own the data, the customer does. You need to go ask the customer. And they're like, we served you the warrant. We said, then we're suing you to say we're not going to do that. We won. We're the only cloud provider that's ever done that, and we won. So next steps. Your first step should be back in this room tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Gautam is going to start walking through how to extend my Dynamics 365 for retail. Really important, he's going to go through a deep dive of what that's going to involve and what you can do. The retail website, you can go check it out, see what's there. You can actually get a 30-day free trial, believe it or not. I don't think we have enough time to demonstrate it, but literally you can click on that link. Again, the slides will be there. You can go. All you need to do is give us your email address and your phone number. That's it. And we'll go ahead and set up a tenant, deploy it, and have it up and running for you for 30 days for free. So you can go and check it out and see what it looks like. The roadmap site and the ideas site that I talked about, that I just showed you, there's the links for those. ISV solutions and extensibility, engage with us. Let us know what you want to the point of, is there feature functionality that's there that you want, that you don't see? Let us know and we'll deliver it. And then for our partners, we have Partner Source where we go through and provide them a lot of details and data to help them stay current with what you're going to need. So we want to thank you for your time. We want to remind you there is a survey to fill out. Please go fill out the surveys. The feedback helps us to adjust the content that we're delivering and make sure that the money that you're spending to be here and the time you're spending to be here is spent as best as possible. So thanks very much. If you have any questions, why don't you come up on front, because I know we've got some other people that are willing to come in for the next session. Be happy to answer them for you. So thanks very much, everybody.